Hi, Lions fans. I know. Y'all gonna be raging at the thumbnail. I know, but that's my last stab. That's my last stab at y'all. It's all good and fun. It's a joke, ha. But really, today we are talking about the biggest reaches in the draft, and we're only going 4 rounds deep on this. I feel like when you get to the 5th, 6th round, it's not really reaches, but specifically you're filling in special teams or role players, stuff like that. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Bro Schmo, just in case you did not know so. Or if you're a Lions fan, it was your boy Bro Schmo, just in case you did not know so. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up. If you enjoy the content as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. We'll see if it ends up that way. But let's go ahead and get this started with actually specifically the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, I listed here. Jack Campbell was actually my other biggest reach, and I feel like I don't really need a go. Y'all, like, if you've been around the show, y'all kind of know my point here. And I get where Lions fans come from, and I get the whole in homes we trust, and it's all right. It's a-okay. I don't think they went after valuable positions. Y'all make the case that they don't necessarily need to. Despite a lot of good corners and edge players be on the board. I mean, I get it. It's fine. I understand your point of view. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Gibbs being more so an offensive weapon. Yeah, we'll see how he's utilized. That's how they say they're going to utilize him. We'll see. I get it with Gibbs, man. I think he could be the stupid, explosive weapon in the return and the receiving game. But I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm just not a fan of, but technically these two guys were reaches for me. I had on my big board, I had Jack Campbell 44 and Jahmyr Gibbs 45. They went pick 12 and pick 18. But let's just move on. No more Lions fans. No more. With Emmanuel Forbes. He was 37 on my big board and ended up going pick 16. And I will acknowledge he's a lot more talented but it's the size, man. You're literally dealing with 0 percentile size at the cornerback position. You probably can't name anyone at that size starting on the outside at the corner position. So you're kind of betting on a unicorn, not even necessarily a unicorn, but the exception to the rule. Because it's not like he's got some crazy good trait. The dude does have great ball skills. I think he's a great fit in a Jack Del Rio defense. So there's a lot going his way, but technically he would be considered a reach in the first round by this standard. So I hope all things work out. I was a big fan of Forbes. I'm kind of a sucker for Mississippi State corners. I loved Cameron Dantzler. We'll see how that works out for y'all, Washington. I loved, what does he go by now? Is it MJ Anderson? Or Emerson? MJ Emerson? Is that what he's going by now? Can't remember. But I was a big fan of Emerson coming out. But Forbes is up there, man. Pick 6 machine. I'm just going to rattle off a couple of my other reaches that I thought were in the first round with Kalijah Cansey. I had him at 34. He goes 19 to Tampa Bay. And then I had again, with Cansey, you're kind of betting on the exception. That's a unicorn there because very, very quick, very fast defender. Will Anderson, I had a 30. He goes 15. Still had a first round grade on him when all things are said and done. Going to the Jets, I think that's a great role. Have him attacking wide 9. This is a guy that played at a place at Iowa State. 3-man fronts, 4-eye, 5 tech. Not always put in the best position considering his skill set and his size, but he would be considered more so of a reach than some of the other guys on this list. Going to the second round, Juice Scruggs, by far my biggest reach. I was shocked. I thought early day 3 was a great value to get him. And he goes 62. Not even just 62, the Texans moved up to get him. Rather than grabbing CJ Stroud center, Luke Whippler. Now, not to say Juice isn't a great player. Like, I think he's exceptionally solid. And I think he could be a starting center in the league. But, excuse me, at 173 on my big board, kind of a big reach. Just a wee bit of a big reach. Next on the list, we're going to the Jags with another Penn State prospect, Brenton Strange. I had him at 154. He goes 61, and my jaw just hits the ground. I thought a couple of the tight ends in here, and I might as well, let's just lump them together. I have Luke Schoonmaker as a big reach too. He was 107 on my big board, so much higher. And he ends up going, 58? I just didn't get why those tight ends went so much higher. I legitimately don't. Like, I thought, I looked at both and I was like, they could be like all right starters at the next level, but like they're really good tight end twos. But I don't think you take a tight end two in the second round. Like, I get it, man. Brendan's a pretty darn good athlete and whatnot, but man, like I had my hiccups with him. Let's pull up my eval on him. Where you at? There you are. All right. Plus athlete. Plays with good balance. Displays sure hands and is hard to bring down after the catch. As a blocker, he understands angles. Shows good leg drive in the run game. Continually churning the legs. He was lined up on a variety of different spots as a blocker and pass catcher. However, in terms of him being a route runner and a separator, not great. He usually would just find or sit in the soft spots in coverage. As a blocker, usually things aren't pretty on initial contact, and he could get cleaner with his hands. He has okay size for the position, but not great. It's all right. Like, that's fine size. 6'4", 253. That's fine. That's fine tight end size in today's game. That's good tight end size. But I got my hiccups with him. But some of the other guys I had here in the second round were Jayden Reed out of Green Bay. I was just a bit lower on him. Like I said, Luke Schoonmaker, and I guess I could get into the eval of Luke Schoonmaker as well. Here, let me pull Schoonmaker up real quick. Here we go. Schoonmaker, nasty blocker with a good amount of special teams experience, mainly on the field goal unit. He has strong hands and can move defenders in the run game. He has been responsible for a few big plays in the run game. He has shown reliable hands as a pass catcher and is a bit smooth on his routes, very clean out of his breaks, but isn't much of a receiving threat. He doesn't always get open and doesn't do much after the catch. He has never been a good contested catch target through his career, 2 of 8 on contested catch opportunities in his career. That doesn't necessarily diminish what he can do in the red zone, but it'd be nice if he could clean up that one area. So, yeah, I mean, a similar size guy here at 6'5", 251. It's just ultimately, I just ended up not being like a big fan of those two tight ends, at least that early. Like, I think you can make the case for Schoonmaker at the back end, or like somewhere around 3. Strange, you could probably make a similar case somewhere around back end around 3, early day, or background of, round 3, early day 3. I think would have been much fine. But I had, I think I mentioned I had Jayden Reed. I don't think I really got into it, but like everyone had these receivers ranked differently, so I'm not too worried about that. Because like right here, I have Rashee Rice as well. So it's like, again, everyone had these guys ranked all kinds of different ways. I had him at 109. He goes at 55. And I think that was via trade up by Kansas City as well. Jonathan Mingo technically would have fit in this category as well, but again, everyone had him everywhere. We got Gervon Dexter. Again, if you're betting on the traits and betting as best football's ahead of him, then yeah, you'll probably have him a lot higher. I had him at 104. He goes at 53. It doesn't surprise me. Also got I didn't even mention, technically also Sam Laporta would fit into this category, as I had him at 65. He goes at 34, but he's much lower on the, he wasn't a big reach. He was like a minimal reach. You could say the same thing about Cody Mock. I had him as a minimal reach. I had him at 75. He goes 48. But let's talk about the third freaking round, and we have to talk about Jake Moody. Kicker. Not on my big board. I don't rank kickers and punters on my big board. I think they are UDFA positions, in my honest opinion. However, I will acknowledge that those guys get drafted. They do. We see a lot of them go. Typically, if you're really good, we'll see them go at in the 120 area. I think it was the year before, Cade York, he went at 124. So if you're really good, typically you go pretty high, and then you're kind of maybe 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and then we'll see 3 kickers and punters in the on 7th round, and that's fine. But the Niners took him at pick 99. They're not good with their late 3rd round picks. They're just not. 6'1", 210. Not that matters too much. Moody was, for a lot of people, he was the top kicker in this draft, and that's fine. That's okay, but it's just you're throwing positional value out the door. Typically, I say positional value matters more in the 1st round than it does day 2, and especially day 3. But when it comes to day 2, it's still to some regard, you don't take a position maybe necessarily of less value if you're getting a guy that's actually just lower on your board. You don't reach for that. And I mean, the same's true with kickers, man. You just don't reach for a kicker in the 3rd round, man. It's just bad draft philosophy. Be like, oh, you're just going to end up being like Justin Tucker and whatnot. Matter of fact, flip. What round did Justin Tucker go in? I know Evan McPherson. I believe he was a 5th rounder. Tucker. Fun fact. The best kicker in the league? UDFA. Yeah, never mind. Screw that. No, yeah, don't draft kickers and punters. All right, next we got Trey Tucker for the Raiders. I had him at 326 on my big board because I go up to 400. I know something I think there's that guy Thor on Twitter has the top 500, and I'm just you're just so in the weeds at that point. It's if you're picking guys off that aren't on your top 400, even just a top 300 board, just look at your prospect rankings or stuff. So it's yeah, that's too much for me. I did it last year and I said never again. But Trey Tucker, I would say, I don't know why this pick wasn't Tyler Scott. Scott's, I believe, the slightly bigger receiver. It might be I think Scott's 177, but he's 5'11", I think. No, maybe not. Okay, 5'10", 177. So they're very similar, but I think the better receiver is Tyler Scott at this point. He could create after the catch, really good vertical threat. I look at Trey Tucker. Let's pull him up. Where you at, Trey Tucker? I can't remember. You were pretty low. Here he is. 10% drop rate. I get it. He's fast. He brings return skills. He's explosive with the balls in his hands. But this dude struggles to get off the line. Probably a slot only guy. And I think Tyler Scott could actually play on the outside, which is why I was higher on him. Lacks the physicality to do so. Runs a simplistic route tree. Needs to grow as a route runner. Runs his routes tall and doesn't get the desired breaks at the top of routes. Hands need to improve, but doesn't high point the football and just lacks the ideal ball skills to be anything more than a role player. And that's what you drafted, Raiders. At pick 100, that's what you drafted. I think that was probably your worst pick in the draft. But, man, I hope he's at least a good return man for y'all. Really, really do. All right, next on this list, we're going to stay in the third round with DJ Johnson. Out of Oregon, the Panthers moved up to grab him. At pick 80, I had him at 228 on my big board. So I was just a little bit lower on him, just a little bit. 6'4", 260, and you're like, bro, Schmo, why are you so low on our boy DJ Moore? Let's first read the what do you call it? The background, former 4-star out of the 2017 class. Played 8 games his freshman season for the U-Baby Hurricanes. Decided to transfer to Oregon after the season. He had to sit out because of transfer rules. Used a red shirt. He was a reserve. And then 2020 he started transition because he was initially playing tight end all those years. Transitioned from tight end, playing in all 7 games. In 2021, he played both sides of the football. So 152 on defense and 98 on offense. Used the extra year of eligibility return, so he was a older prospect as well. Workout warrior. We knew this guy was gonna do well at the combine, and he did. He ran a 4.49, which is kind of ludicrous. He's got 35-inch arms. Bench press was 28. Which shouldn't be surprising. Like, the dude's can sumo deadlift 655, and he's got a 455 bench press, so flip. He's also been recorded. Like, his speed wasn't a question either. He was recorded at some points in the 2022 season at 23 miles an hour. Just kind of ridiculous. A lot of special team experience, but he's just so raw. And I said here, the only thing that makes him draftable is this special team experience. Like, despite being an older prospect, he hasn't played a lot of collegiate football. And he's only played 340 defensive snaps coming into the 2022 season, where, yeah, he played a hell of a lot more. He actually played 400, I think. It was like 423. There it is. And let's look at that. Like 13.7 pass rush win rate. Okay. I don't know what the Panthers were doing. This guy's firmly in day 3. I don't know. They're so crazy. Why are you so crazy, Panthers? All right, Broderick Martin. I don't mean to harp on the Lions again, but this is the last time. Yep, this is the last time. Just making sure. I don't want to eat my words. Y'all traded up. Y'all traded from 122 to pick 96, and then you gave up, I think, like 2/5 to make this pick. Or maybe it was another 4th and a 5th. I don't know. Either way, you gave up 2 other picks to move up. No, it had to be a 4th and a 5th. We'll see. But for a guy that I thought probably would have been at 122, been available there. Like, I get it. There's not a lot of big, meaty guys out here that have the bodies capable of being good in the run. There weren't a lot of those guys in this class. And there was kind of a premium on those guys. But, like, I think you could get them at 122. And even then, like, you could probably move up early in the 4th round to make a play on that guy. Like, I love Broderick Martin, man. I think he's very good. I think he's more explosive, more of an athlete than you expect from a guy his size. But still, man, I think what hurt the most was just that you traded up. That's really, really what hurt me the most. Before we get into the 4th round, let's go over a couple of other guys I have here. Byron Young, out of Alabama, not the other one. This was another Raiders pick, actually. I had him at 137 on my big board. He goes at 70. And all these are considered less minor reaches. Zach Pickens had him at 123. He goes 64. Riley Moss had him at 140. He goes 83 to the Broncos. Tyler Steen, though there's an asterisk here, had him at 106. He goes to 65. Though a lot of the NFL saw him as a guard because of the sub 33-inch arms, which I think is fair. Because I was thinking maybe if I listened to him as a guard, I probably would have had him higher. So, but how much higher? I don't know. Maybe the 80s? Yeah, maybe the 80s. So that ends up not being that big of a reach. Cameron Latu, though, he was a huge reach. I had him at 244, and they picked him at 101. So, yeah. San Fran, what you doing? All right, going to the 4th round, we got Stetson freaking Bennett, Rams. I didn't think he was draftable. I had him at 291, which actually technically I think fell under a quote-unquote draftable grade. But they take him on 128. He's stupid undersized, 5'11", 192. You'd be like, well, you liked Bryce Young. Yeah, Bryce Young has arm talent. He has ability. Not to take anything away from Stetson Bennett, back-to-back natties, good for him. Don't necessarily know if his heart's in football. Didn't go to the Senior Bowl, opted out, and then, the same day or next day, he was arrested for public drunkenness or drinking in public, something like that. So you could question that. That could, again, that's just projecting there. He also, I just don't think he's got great arm talent. I think this guy makes up for a lot because he's an older prospect. He makes up for a lot, a lot of his physical tools, just by being very sneaky. Is that the word I'm looking for? I don't know. He's shifty. He knows when to get out of dodge. I think it's weird. I don't think he's particularly I don't know. The dude's pretty darn fast. He's pretty darn fast. I was going to say, he just doesn't feel that fast. But he can make plays with his legs. He was consistently making the right decisions there at Georgia. I get it, but 128. That's just too much for me to handle. Next on the list, I got Tavius Robinson out of Ole Miss. He goes to Baltimore at 124. I had him at 331 on my big board. I get it. Plus athlete, great length. I think the production was actually pretty good for him this year as well. Where you at? Okay. But yeah, solid size, 6'6", 259, 40 pressures, 8 sacks, but he did that with a 11.5 pass rush win rate. So I don't love that. Older prospect. I think he's a bit raw. Doesn't have many ways to win, especially once engaged. Not many ways to get off of the block. So, I'm not in love with him in particular. I'm just not. I thought he ended up being just a big reach. Next on the list, I got Darius Davis. Had him at 171. He goes 125 to the Chargers. They get a return, man. This was the middle piece in assembling, I guess, their infinity gauntlet of TCU players, because they ended up getting Max Duggan. So the Horned Frogs are going Hollywood, baby. I don't know. But I don't know. What's he offer? He's 5'8", 165. I don't think he's the same. He's not the same type of athlete, or doesn't offer the same quickness as a Tank Dell does, in my opinion. The foot quickness isn't the same, but I guess technically, okay, cool. You get a fast vertical target that's occasionally on the field, but I guess it's more so his return skills. I thought he was kind of a reach. Honestly, if you wanted that guy, I think you'd probably go Tyler Scott. Where did Tyler Scott end up getting drafted? Let's just make sure he was still on the board here. before I just utter such ignorance. Yeah, he was available. He ended up going pick 133. So Tyler Scott's still on the board there with better size. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what we're doing here. Here's a couple of other guys who just missed the list for the 4th round. We got Jake Andrews. I had him at 252 on my big board. He goes 107. Another New England pick, Chad Ryland. I'm not going to harp on kicker again in this video, but he wasn't ranked on my big board. He goes at 112, and they moved up for him. Ventrell Miller, he goes at 121. I had him at 259. I thought he was fine, but I think in this linebacker class, NFL teams were kind of okay with these guys that can just be fine at the position. He also offers special teams upside. Kamari Connor offers special teams upside. He's actually a pretty versatile defensive back. I think he can play all 7 positions in the defensive backfield. And he goes at 119 though. I had him at 203, so that was a bit interesting. But that's it for the video. Who were some of the guys that you think were a bit reaches in this class? I expect to see insert 1st round quarterback here in the comment section below. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.